My name is Mikayla Canham, and I'm the TD for our production of She Kills Monsters. This is our scene shop here. We do all of our construction of the scenery in this shop, and right now we're in the process of working on She Kills. Going in, this is our board. This is where we keep track of what we're doing today or during the week. So we just mark off when things are done or when things are in progress. Okay, moving on. Over here we have one of our carpenters working on the jacks, which will be, you can see a little bit of the drafting here, but this is a completed version of what she's building right now. And these will be on either side of the frames that we are giving to the actors to help hold up the muslin in the back. We have two main parts to this. It's a very small build, but we just have the jacks that we're working on, and then we also have some welders working on the two sets of brackets that we're doing for the show. Right now we have our two carpenters, Andrew Ryan and Tony Corona, welding the different brackets that are going to be used to attach the jacks together. This right here is one style of the bracket. We're just calling it like this T bracket. And bolts will be screwed into these holes to hold the jacks in place. The only other part of the major part of the build is over in the paint shop. We have our charge artist, Tone. He is painting all the backgrounds, which are different character sheets for the characters. And after he's done, we're going to take them into our shop. So hems around the borders, add in some grommets, and then they will be hung onto the jacks, or not the jacks, onto the flats that we are building right now. This is our table saw. I don't know whose phone this is. We use this mainly for ripping large sheet goods, or in the case of our show, we used it to rip all the 2x4 down to smaller pieces so that it was less bulky for actors to take home. This bar here is adjustable, and you can adjust it to whatever size you want according to this ruler here. And it's really cool for just ripping large amounts of lumber. Over there we have our ATD, Rebecca Barsnai. She is currently grinding down all the edges of our metal components so that they are more safe for the actors to take home, so there's no chance of them hurting themselves on those pieces. So she's working on what's called a wire wheel right now. It'll just help smooth down the steel. Another major tool we used in this show is our horizontal bandsaw, which is used for steel cutting. Basically, as you can see, there are some pieces in there right now, but you can clamp pieces in there, and then basically there's liquid that is run through the saw to make sure it stays cool, and it doesn't damage the blade as much. And you just basically, this cut can cut, I believe, up to 8 pieces of steel at once, so you can really get through and cut a lot of steel quickly. So as the TD for She Kills, it's my job to first of all receive the designer's design and figure out the best way to execute it or build it to make sure that it achieves what the designer is wanting. So I have to first of all draft all the construction draftings for the components of the show, figure out how they work together, and then I have to make a build schedule to time out everything that we're doing, and make a list of everything that we have to do. And then I'm also in charge, in collaboration with my ATD, of overseeing the crew and making sure everyone knows what they're doing, and making sure they're doing everything correctly. For day-to-day, I'm just in charge of, starting shop, making sure everyone's on track, and solving any problems that may or may not come up during the builds. My favorite part of the job is working with people, learning new things, teaching people new things, and just being able to take an artist's vision from the designer and be able to turn it into reality. I think that's a really cool thing of being a TD.
Hi, I am Mehr. I am the lighting designer for this production, and it's been weird translating lighting to Zoom. So instead of the typical lights that we use, we are using almost exclusively clip lights. So each actor is getting their own bag that's going to be delivered to them with the clip lights and the gels that they need. And then from there, they are going to have to set that up within their own home, within the scenery they've been given. So it's funky trying to reimagine things like this, because all of the lighting changes have to also work within the blocking, which is not something that we normally ever have to worry about, because it's never actor controlled. So there are some lights, like these ones, that have binder clips on them instead of tape, or ones that the actors are going to have to change out the gel colors for during the show at different times. Each actor is getting their own individual cue sheet, which normally is just one big one that the stage manager has, but they each are getting their own, so that way they can keep track of their own cues, because communication between the actors and the stage manager is going to be very limited during the show, just by nature. Yeah, so this has definitely been an extremely unique experience compared to the other shows that I've worked on. It's been a lot of fun trying to figure out how to make this work in each actor's own individual space, as opposed to everybody being in the same theater. And I think it's coming along pretty well. I think it's going to be good.
Hi, I'm Mehr Platt. I am a senior BFA theatrical production and design major with a focus in scenic. That's a lot of things to say. And I'm the props master for She Kills Monsters. So my role primarily on this production is to do a lot of the, I'd call the administrative work. I do a lot of budgeting. I make sure that my team, all of my team who is working around me, has stuff to be doing. And I also do projects myself when I have the time. So for me right now, I'm working on Tiamat's mask. There's not a lot of stuff going on for it right now because I just got all of my measurements in. But here are the heads for it. They're not going to be articulated, but to show the way that he screams. They breathe, each of these breathe a different element, so I added a little back thing here to kind of allude to that. We got our little ice dragon over here. So you'll see this in the show, but here's the actual staff of Sa up here. It glows and everything. It's the, here's the Beholder puppet, which I've had the pleasure of working on. He looks super anxious, I love him. And fun fact about him, each of his eyes has a different ability, and so I tried to make that kind of like an homage to that by giving him all different color eyes. Snack. Donnie is working on the cardboard sword right now. Where is it, Donnie? Where's the sword? There it is. He did a great job. It's super fun. A lot of the elements of the show are supposed to be very cardboard and papery, which I think is really magical, honestly, to have this fun little puppet theater and embrace that sort of like campy fun aspect, almost like LARPing. Never LARPed before, but it can be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. And Nora is working on a lovely little rabbit guy. Do it, Nora. That's supposed to happen. And over here we have our lovely friend Lex as well, working on these Farris dolls for the ferry. And so we have all of these identical miniature fairies who just get tossed at people. And yeah,
It's been a busy couple of weeks. We're towards the end of build. It's super fun. This space is, the props area has sort of just now expanded too. Much like how the paint shop had like a small little corner in the scene shop and then blew up into its own space. The props area is sort of doing that too. And since I've been here, it went from them not even having like a table to having an entire area blocked out with a shelf with all of these tools and all of these tables. And it's been really great. And we're able to do a lot more stuff organized and even have this challenge of having like a 3-week build time, which I keep saying, but it's, you get back to school, you hit the ground running, and you produce magic for everyone to see on Zoom during a really hard time. So I hope that if you are able to, I mean, I'm sure you're seeing it backstage tours, but I hope you have a good time watching it, because a lot of people put a lot of heart into it. So.
Hi, my name's Yuwan Ilano. I am a junior BA Theater Arts major, and I am the costume designer for She Kills Monsters. So I'll bring you around the shop. This is one of our pieces actually for Orcus, our little demon world king, and he is a very, cool, relaxed, chill dude. He is a retired lord of the underworld, and he just wants to have some fun. So with this costume, we wanted to have it inspired by like the stoner types of the 1990s, as well as incorporating types of patchworks and different sew-ins to just emphasize the fact that he is a little offbeat, but he's still a cool dude. Over here is our rack for the show. A lot of these items are pulled from upstairs in our costume shop, and we have a lot of different unique items for this show to show the unconventional nature of She Kills Monsters. So here is one of my favorite pieces. It's the skeleton torso, little poncho moment. This is for one of our most zany characters who often dies throughout the show. And another piece that I just adore the most is actually this moment here. From first appearance, it seems like a normal type of sweatshirt, but up close you can actually see the detailing of little like dragon scales to just emphasize that this is a Dungeons and Dragons like universe that we are in. Here are my designs for the show. I drew them myself and I also watercolored them myself. And I really wanted this show to show the unconventional nature of Dungeons and Dragons, in which the characters and performers actually make these pieces themselves, but that's what we hoped it would look like. And we wanted it to have this sense of fantasy and fun. Now moving over here, here's one of our greatest examples of how we found ingenuity throughout the show. This may appear to be a corset, but actually is a pair of old boots that we tore apart and put together to craft this beautiful corset. We have a wonderful crew here in the costume shop that worked very hard on all of these pieces. I'm very proud of all of them. And here are some of the pieces that show the paper elements of She Kills Monsters. These horns are actually made out of cardboard, and soon they will be painted and added with like lots of blood and lots of cool elements to just showcase how badass really She Kills Monsters is. So in the costume shop, we have several different types of sewing machines. We train all of our students to learn how to use these and mobilize through different types of machines so that they can have the full experience of knowing how to work in the costume shop. We use these babies here for a lot of our stitch work, but our hand machine projects, as well as adding little details like fringe, for example, onto all of our pieces. Carrying over here, we have our very, very strong hot irons. So be careful while using these, but these are very industrial and have a lot of strength and heat to make our presses and seams look as polished as possible. So thank you for joining me in this wonderful tour of the backstage of our costume shop. I hope that you guys appreciate and understand how much hard work goes into creating all of these pieces, and I hope you enjoyed She Kills Monsters.